everybody. Welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Program. We come to you each week to talk about what's going on in the world of name, image, and likeness, specifically at the University of New Mexico and the state of New Mexico. First, I want to say, as usual, thanks to my producer, Adrian Huntington Beach, behind the glass, and up the stairs in the big chair, Steve Davis, president and head honcho here at ProView, for giving us this opportunity every week to come to you high above Central Avenue in beautiful downtown Albuquerque to talk about anything that we think is important. Anyway, as we head to the end of the summer, there's a lot going on in our world, in the world of college athletics. Football's around the right around the corner here. 2 games for the UNM Lobos in August, which is an all-time record for an early start. One of them will be against the top 30 team, probably the Arizona Wildcats. The other will be one of the contenders for the national title at the next level, Montana State. So it's going to be an interesting start for the boys of Mendenhall. We're all excited, but we're asking you to help us with that. As you know, or you've seen, and we'll talk about this today, we have something now called the Lobo Alliance, and we're in close working relationship with the University of New Mexico. It's a whole new era, but we need the support of the public. So I ask you, hit our website, 505sports.org, 505sports.org. It'll show you how to donate. People asked me just yesterday, well, what's the minimum? We have people sending us $5 a month, and we're grateful for it. So if everyone in New Mexico joins on, we have great facilities, we have a great school, we have great coaches. Help us out. Anyway, we're going to be back with a very special guest to talk about all the cool stuff that's going on here at 505 SVF. Stay right with us.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
The 505 Sports Venture Program. I'm really excited. We don't have enough time to ask all the questions and have all the discussion I want. But we've got an old friend, familiar face, and a great guest with us, Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. we're getting close to football. The school starts, I guess, Tuesday or Monday.
Yeah.
Both rosters, men's and women's basketball, are returning, so we'll get to hear what's going on there. They took a much-needed break. We could talk about that. This college basketball season never ends.
Yep.
So they get a couple weeks off. Everybody leaves. But and a lot going on. A lot going on in the news. So both from a real story, impactful happening, to the way to look at it journalistically, let's talk about what's going on with Eddie Nunez.
Yeah, so about a week ago was the first I had heard that he had conversations already, initial conversations, which probably happened quite a bit with the University of Houston. They have an open athletic director position since mid-June, I guess, is when they officially fired their previous athletic director. He was actually on the books until August 1st, but was fired in mid-June. So their process has been a couple months old at this point, and Eddie had talked with Houston. I knew that's happened before. That's not something entirely new. But on Monday, when the Houston Chronicle's Joseph Duarte, who's their longtime University of Houston Cougars reporter, beat writer, he reported that not only is Eddie one of the 4 names mentioned in this article, and that Houston was closing in on making a decision soon, but he said a source told him that Eddie Nunez is the front runner for the University of Houston job. Because of that reporting, we then jumped in, and that's sort of an interesting decision journalistically. I mean,
I'll talk about
that. Yeah, we could jump at every time Eddie's name has come up for an athletic director job. You know this. I don't know how many people know this. People that spend a lot of time on social media may have seen Eddie's name pop up multiple times through the years for other athletic director jobs. It doesn't mean he is necessarily interviewed for them. It doesn't mean he has necessarily put his name in there. It doesn't mean he hasn't. But sometimes names just pop up, right? So what do we as a local paper that is a college town paper that our primary beat is Lobo athletics. So what do? Should we chase every rumor every time Eddie's name comes up? Same with coaching. I can take you back to the Craig Neal at the end of year 1. Gary Parrish of CBS Sports was first to report that Craig Neal's name had come up for Central Florida, I believe it was, or not Central Florida, South Florida, I think it was. And Noodles ends up getting a raise about that same time. We had sort of debated then, what do we do? Well, unfortunately, the decision could be easy and we could just chase every rumor, right? But then we start losing some credibility. I don't want people to read Jeff Grammer's reporting and it be anywhere in their mind, okay, but how real is this one? So we actually try and avoid, for the most part, just the rumor chasing. We do that with recruiting as well. And it makes it difficult because, I mean, what ins do I have at the University of Houston Board of Regents? None. How am I going to chase this search firm that might be searching for their athletic director? It's going to be tough. So I'm basically then in a position where I have to sit and wait for the most part. But in this case, once Joseph Duarte, who's, again, longtime Houston Cougar reporter for the Houston Chronicle, when he reported it and called Eddie a front runner, and I knew Eddie had talked with somebody from Houston, what level that is, I even now don't know for sure a week ago what level that conversation was. I don't think it was a formal interview. But I knew they had talked, and I knew the Houston Chronicle was now calling him a front runner. We went ahead and ran with that story and just sort of put out the context of what Eddie's contract is. So for those that don't know or didn't see the article, as of July 1st, Eddie has no buyout. I know athletic director buyouts aren't like coaches' buyouts anyway, but just to be clear, since July 1st, there is no buyout if Eddie Nunez leaves right now. And Eddie's been here a long time. In the world of college athletics, head coaches and athletic directors, 7 years is a good, solid length of time at this point.
No doubt about it. But let's go back just for a minute because, you know, we manage the 505 SVF website, which was the Lobo Lair. You go back pre-X Twitter,
right,
and message boards were the key source of gossipy or breaking news. And I've been guilty of it. My predecessor's been guilty of it. We will put things out there that aren't 100% confirmed. Close, which under the old style journalism, you would never do.
Yeah.
You needed confirmation, et cetera, et cetera. So with this story, I saw it. I subscribed to something. If you're a college sports fan, D1 Ticker.
Yes.
And
it's free.
It's free. It just floods you with news. You get tired.
It's an email listserv. So,
that's right.
Yeah, D1 Ticker. It'll give you more than you ever want.
Need, right? Unless you're looking for a job in athletic department. But that's where that story came out, and the reporter is relatively well known and considered a good source. He wouldn't make it up, and that's always the problem. Do you, as a journalist, answer a rumor? Do you follow? How do you follow it up? I just know for a fact, though, that in that Ticker story, and I didn't read the real story in the Houston paper. They had 4 names in it.
Yes,
and the second person in contention had already stated elsewhere they were out, and the AD from Nevada had stated they were out. So already that story was a little stale and questionable.
And to that point, that's sort of where, especially when it comes to athletic directors, coaches may be a little bit different. There's a lot of gamesmanship in head coaching searches, right? Like agents plant names a lot. Sometimes you want your name out there, even though you have no interest and you know they have no interest. You want your name out there for a variety of reasons. With athletic directors, though, it's sort of hard to have the sources lined up as a reporter for, like, unless you're a national reporter. Duarte probably doesn't know the athletic director in Nevada. Doesn't know the second guy who owns a sports entertainment company in Texas. Probably doesn't know them very well. So his source is probably pretty well entrenched at the University of Houston, and he may not have known that they already had no interest.
Right. All right, well, we have way more to talk about just on this subject and a couple others to get to. So hang out. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip.
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, everybody. We're back. That was fast. Adrian from Huntington Beach, thanks for the heads up. Sorry. Jeff Grammer and I, Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal, having a great time talking about the Eddie Nunez story. Journalism 101. I was always a baby journalist, and the rules, because of the internet, simple terms, I don't want to go into it too much, have changed. Okay, so now let's talk about, we've got the possibility of and we'll talk about career, but a long-time AD in a program that athletic program is really doing well.
Yeah.
Is ready to leave. What's your gut on what happens?
I do think Eddie's in a position where I do think the right offer comes. I think he's gone. I think he's ready to move on. I think so. So there's one holdup, right? I mean, everybody understands in the world of college athletics, the one holdup right now for Eddie of getting that big time next job, I think, would be football. You got to get football right. But he's checked a whole lot of the other boxes. Fundraising is up. Jalen Dominguez at the Lobo Club obviously has a big part of all that. But Eddie's the guy that's overseeing the reorganization of the Lobo Club. He's now working with the Alliance, which we're about to get into, I think. He's overseeing that. Whether it was reluctantly initially or not, like a lot of athletic directors, the fact is right now UNM, through you guys, have one of the best NIL collective, certainly working relationships of certainly anyone outside the power conferences, but also there are more than a few in the power conferences that you guys certainly can go toe-to-toe with. Those are all things that right now in this college athletics landscape check boxes for an athletic director getting a good job somewhere. I do think Eddie is an attractive candidate at this point. He is also the head of the Division I Men's Basketball Oversight Committee. That brings some power. He would have to give up that position to move to another job, but he is in an influential position right now. I kind of think at this point I would lean towards maybe Eddie takes this one. Maybe Eddie is going to be gone. My question then, and my reporting will have to be then, is what's your role and what's UNM's next step and how you do all that? Like, it is a new world where an NIL collective has something to, if not say about this, certainly needs to be at the table and ready to kind of know what's going on, because you guys have so many
no doubt
irons in the
about
fire.
It. And you really answered, I think you kind of gave a good summary of Eddie Nunez's career. I'll be perfectly frank, and Eddie will laugh at this. We have had some battles.
Yeah.
I had my pedal to the metal on NIL day one, and his job was like, we don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
Slow down. And I don't go slowly. He was riding, he was driving a boat. So he did a really good job. And I've been here at UNM now 52 years. Eddie Nunez came in a storm. I won't say what kind of storm, but a storm. His predecessor was under indictment.
Yep.
The regents, in what I classify as an insane budget-cutting move, had forced him right off the bat to cut a major sport. And rumor has it was either baseball
Yep.
or soccer. And as a result, he was the face of cutting soccer. Only a few years removed from the team going to the national championship game in the fastest growing sport in the United States. So he started out under fire. You look what's happened since: great hires, stability, increased fundraising every year, very, very, very few scandals or events that even have more than a day. You got to think about it. There just aren't many. So I am one who will, if Eddie takes this job, or if it's offered to him, I don't know either, and I don't know what he'll do. I can't even make a guess, or I wouldn't set odds on it. But I will miss him as the leader at the athletic department. It's a loss for New Mexico and UNM, no matter how you cut it. Now, if there is a job opening, what is the process now for the hiring? Well, it's completely different in the new era. It would be, first, you're going to have someone who's very well versed, or at least opinionated if they've been in a different field. Now, you may get an entrepreneur who wants to be an athletic director.
There's some of those happening, right? Commissioners of conferences have come in from no college athletics experience, from a TV marketing kind of position, and had various levels of success and failure. But yeah, some of these jobs now are going to people who have never been in college athletics, and that would shock me if they did that here.
Well, it's an exciting concept. I mean, there's a story in the Wall Street Journal just the other day how I believe it was the AD or the president at Howard University was looking for $100 million equity investment, basically for a private company to say, we own the Howard Bison's athletic department. We are going to work with them. We are going to market them. Of course, we will take care of the student athletes through the name, image, and likeness. I mean, $100 million is $10 million a year for 10 years. Not the end of the world. Would that be an exciting concept here in New Mexico? Sure would. Sure. You want to manage and support the UNM football team, and you're, an oil guy down south, give us a call. Anyway, that could be someone who comes into this position. Yep. It's an interesting concept. So we'll see. I really hope when the smoke clears that Mr. Nunez is in his office on Monday.
Things are rolling, and things are going good right now.
Things are going great. We are, a week and a half away from a football game, which is mind-boggling. 2 football games in August. An exciting roster coming back in not only men's basketball, women's basketball. Mike Bradbury's done an incredible job. We're coming off incredible work with our new track program, national champions, contenders in the Olympics. Anyway, a lot more to talk about. We've got one more segment. Hang out with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our final segment of this week's 505 Sports Venture program. I'm here with my guest, Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. So much to talk about, so little time. All right, we closed the last segment talking really about the financial impact on college athletics and how we might see an AD from a different side of the business world, maybe a more investment type position. You wrote a really good article, I thank you, about what's happening between UNM and the 505 Collective. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, and there's going to be, for you, there's going to be, there'll be another article coming soon because I want to get into what this alliance is. I think the alliance really just formalizes what you guys have sort of been going towards for maybe a whole year now, maybe not quite a year, but you guys aren't just on the same page and sort of quietly working together. You guys are now officially working together, I guess that is the best way to put it. There might be a better, more accurate way to put it, but I think for the lay person, I think to say you guys are working together is pretty accurate, right? You guys are now hand in hand, making the kind of getting to the same goal, though you are still very much separate entities.
Well, no doubt about it. We were, especially in the beginning, when the court cases came down, to someone like me, I could, as an attorney, I'd read these cases, and then I established a working organization, And I said, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And the NCAA kept saying, no, you can't.
Yeah.
So UNM was cautious, as it's turned out. And it's funny, in light of this recent House proposed settlement, which I don't think is going to happen, the NCAA decided that a settlement with a certain amount of schools would impact on people who weren't in the lawsuit, which as a lawyer is patently ridiculous. So we laughed at that, but it did open up the discussion further where all of a sudden Ohio State goes, we can pay the schools, we can pay the kids directly. So it kind of pushed this Lobo Alliance idea very quickly, but it's been in the works. And as Dave Williams said 2 years ago, we are on different paths to the same end. But now we do work in conjunction. And with each other, of course, and one of the biggest parts of this is still education. People were, what does this mean? Yep. How do I give money? Am I hurting the Lobo Club? And that was an issue. People who don't understand or aren't experienced in fundraising don't know that the tide rises all the ships. So if the Lobo Club's doing well and 505 is doing well, we're going to have better performance on the field. The tickets are going to sell. The national press is going to be better. Potentially more games on television, bowl games. Ooh, NCAA tournament money. What a great idea. First time in 11 years. So this whole thing really is now, and it's happening. I don't want to spill the beans, so I won't completely. But we're really hopeful of having a big corporate announcement in the next couple of days, so we'll see. And
I think along those lines, too, assuming that does come to fruition, I think sometimes you need to see that first one, right? Sometimes you need...
No doubt about it.
That first advertiser or that first sponsor or that first big kind of move. I believe it's about to happen for you guys, too. I'll write about it when it actually happens. But I believe it's about to happen for you guys, and I think that's the next step towards that happening more regularly then.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We will have an economic impact study that was commissioned by UNM probably sometime in the next couple of months. And if you watch what happened up in Boulder, Colorado, among other places, if you fill the stadiums, also football, I mean, they went from 27,000 a game to 82,000. The Boulder Chamber of Commerce estimates $79 million. 6 games, direct impact.
And I think I was going to say real quick, not only is that showing that why the Lobo Club wasn't a either-or scenario, people that want to donate see the benefits themselves sometimes when things go well, right? It's not just that they only had this $1 to donate. They had some other money to donate. And once they were donating that $1 to 2 different places and they saw some return on that, they're taking clients, they're taking friends to games, they're having more fun with it. The economic impact, as that report's going to show, and as what happened in Boulder, it really helps a lot of businesses too. So I know I'm in a standpoint where, I'm not rooting for success or failure necessarily, but I see very much how much more popular a writer I am when they're good, how much more people are reading and subscribing to the paper when they're good. I see the benefits of it, and so I think it helps a lot of businesses that you just don't think about directly being impacted by college athletics.
Okay, so before we have like a minute and a half to talk about one subject. How long have you been the beat writer now for UNM?
13th season.
13th. So that New Mexico State bias is almost gone?
No.
No, okay.
Hold
on to a little bit. I got a call from Mario. He said make sure. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Tony Snell and what he's doing.
So Tony Snell a year ago goes on the Today Show, and it just blew me away when I saw it because I had no idea about any of this. Long story short, his son, his 2-year-old son at the time, they're seeing some signs of he's kind of traced some stemming signs. If you know autism, he's going through some stuff that show signs of autism. They get him tested. His son has autism. As they're filling out the paperwork, they say, Tony kind of says, like, a lot of that's me. Like, a lot of that applies to me. Tony, who was known while he was here by some as the silent assassin. He then gets tested as an adult. He has autism. His other son, since then, has been tested, has autism. They've started a foundation. They go on the Today Show. This NBA player who's an adult getting tested and going public with his autism helped so many people. I talked to him a year later. He's now talking up a storm. The Silent Assassin's the guy that won't shut up. He talked to the Lobo basketball team for about 30 minutes at one practice. But also, that is a good opportunity for things like, and I'll hand it off to you here because this is an opportunity hopefully for you guys.
Well, that's what that's part of what NIL and 505 SVF is all about. We're trying to engage the community. We're trying to work with charities. And stay with us. We're going to talk about this more in the future, but I think you will see another alliance with our group and Tony Snell's group in the very near future. Anyway, Jeff, thanks.
Absolutely.
Let's kind of massage that Aggie bias a little bit more. It's about time. We'll be back next week, right before the first football game, with what I believe is a scheduled basketball guest. So come back again next week. This is Kurt Roth, 505 SVF. Thanks for being with us.